Hi, I am Dr. Selvaraj, your surgical educator from Malaysia. Welcome back to my series of surgical teaching videocasts. These are meant mainly for undergraduate medical students doing the surgical clerkship rotation. I promise you will become competent in clinical problem solving and surgical decision making if you are going to watch these videos over and over again. So in this episode today I am going to discuss one more image based question in lower GI tract pathology. So our patient is a 55-year-old man who has come to the hospital with history of passing bright red blood per rectum, that is hematochezia, on and off for the past 2 months and tenesmus for the past 1 month. The diagnostic workup of colonoscopy and MRI scan of the rectum are shown here. That is MRI scan of the pelvis, or both are shown here. So these are the two pictures. This is the colonoscopy and these are the MRI scan pictures. So question number 1, what are the investigations and findings in figure A, figure B and in figure C? Question number 2, what is your diagnosis and why you are saying so? Question number 3, how will you stage this patient? Question number 4, how will you manage this patient? Question number 5, what is the prognosis in this pathology? So I request all my viewers to pause the video and try to answer all these 5 questions. So after answering all these 5 questions, you can verify your answer with the answers which I am going to discuss in the subsequent slides. So question number 1, what are the investigations and findings in figure A, figure B and in figure C? The correct answer is figure E is the colonoscopy. Here, you are seeing this is a colonoscopic picture which is clearly showing an ulcerative proliferative growth in the rectum. So it is clearly you are seeing here. The figure B is MRI scan of the pelvis, this one, and it is a sagittal view and you are seeing the rectal growth invading the mesorectum. This is T3 growth. This is what you are seeing here. This is the rectum. You are seeing, this is bladder you are seeing here, and this is the rectum which is invading the mesorectum. And figure C, this is also a MRI scan of the pelvis, but this is a coronal view. And here also you are seeing the rectal growth invading the mesorectum. Here you are seeing it clearly, but apart from that, you are also seeing lymph node involvement or lymph node enlargement in the mesorectum. So the tumor is T3 and N2 stage. Question number 2, what is your diagnosis and why you are saying so? So the correct answer is most probably it is rectal carcinoma. Reasons for this diagnosis are: number 1, our patient is an elderly patient, 55-year-old. He presented with bright red blood per rectum or hematochezia or bright red blood. He is passing red blood per rectum, bleeding PR. So, and he is also having tenesmus. Tenesmus is the hallmark symptom of rectal growth. That is sensation of incomplete evacuation of the bowel even after passing stools. That is what is called tenesmus. This is because of space occupying tumor in the rectum. That is why patient is having a sensation of incomplete evacuation of the bowel. and colonoscopy is clearly showing the ulceroproliferative growth. Here you are seeing it clearly. And the MRI scan of both sagittal and coronal views reveal rectal growth and involvement of the mesorectum also. Yeah, it is showing the invasion into the mesorectum, the MRI scan. So question number 3, how will you stage this patient? So this is, I am not talking about the Duke staging or Osler collar staging. I am not talking about the types of staging, but how will you do staging with various investigations? That is what I am talking here. So you must do a colonoscopy to rule out synchronous lesion in proximal colon. So there may be another tumor may be there in the proximal part of the colon. So whenever you are dealing with the rectal growth, you must do a colonoscopy unless it is a completely obstructing tumor where you cannot do a colonoscopy. Otherwise, you must do it. You should also do CT scan of the chest, abdomen and pelvis to rule out regional or distant metastasis. So CT scan also you can pick up whether it is invading the mesorectum, but it is very useful to find out distant metastasis either to the chest, that is lungs, abdomen, to the peritoneal cavity or to the liver, and in the pelvis also any deposits you can see. That is the local invasion. You must also do MRI scan of the pelvis, both sagittal and coronal views, to rule out local invasion into the mesorectum. You can also do whole body bone scan, that is the technetium 99 scan, to rule out bony secondaries. CT brain also can be done to rule out secondaries in the brain. Baseline CEA level you must do for surveillance or to pick up the recurrence during the follow-up. Examination under anesthesia, that is EUA, is sometimes performed to obtain additional information when it is not clear on MRI if the rectal cancer is fixed or tethered to the mesorectum. If it is not clear by MRI, you can do examination under anesthesia. So question number 4, how will you manage this patient? All the investigations are completed. The patient is discussed in the hospital tumor board and treatment should be tailor-made. Yeah, it is not same for all patients. All cancer patients, you have to tailor-made this treatment, and this treatment should be decided by the tumor board, which consists of a surgical, medical and radiational oncologist and a pathologist. If there is no distant metastasis and the circumferential margin is not involved, the patient is offered a short course of radiotherapy for 5 days that should be followed by the anterior resection. If the tumor is in the upper third of the rectum, we must do high anterior resection with tumor specific mesorectal excision also should be performed apart from the high anterior resection. If the tumor is in the middle third of the rectum, you can do low anterior resection with total mesorectal excision, and you can also do a covering loop ileostomy. If the tumor is in the lower third of the rectum, you must do only abdominoperineal resection with permanent end colostomy. All these surgeries can be performed using minimally assessed techniques like either laparoscopy or even nowadays you can use robotic surgery to do these procedures. So question number 5, what is the prognosis in this pathology? The answer is the removed rectum en bloc with mesorectum should be submitted to the pathologist, and this is called total mesorectal excision. This is sent to the histological assessment, and the pathologist will do what is called Kurki's staging of this total mesorectal excision, and then they will say the staging of this rectal cancer. If the lymph nodes are involved, patients are offered adjuvant treatment for 3 to 6 months. If there are high risk features on histology, combination chemotherapy with oxaliplatin is offered. Prognosis is as follows. If it is stage 1 cancer, 90 to 95% 5-year survival rate. If it is stage 2 cancer, 60 to 65% 5-year survival rate. If it is stage 3 cancer, 40% 5-year survival rate. If it is stage 4, only 20 to 30% 5-year survival rate. If you are dealing with stage 4 disease, that is with distant metastasis, where there is involvement of either isolated liver secondary or isolated lung secondaries, this should be, the treatment should be discussed in the hospital tumor board. If it is an isolated liver or lung secondaries, you can resect them. In case of liver involvement, if there is possibility of preserving 30% of the liver, then liver resection for the metastasis is considered following 3 months chemotherapy. This is what, but all these things should be decided by the tumor board only. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you think that all my videos are very useful, kindly subscribe to this channel and share these videos in your social media. Kindly click the bell button also, so that you will get notification for all my latest uploads. So thank you once again for watching this video. Let us meet in yet another video. Until then, bye bye.